Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I found a very interesting and I would say dangerous statement made by an Ukrainian official. And that statement has to do with Ukraine having the right to use any kind of weapon to liberate its territories. So that means that they could use chemical weapons, they could use nuclear weapons, they could use assassination, they could use anything they have, any kind of method of liberating their territories. Well, if we agree with that and then we use the same agreement in other wars or other invasions, then I think we get ourselves in a big mess. But let's see who this person is. This article comes from the the New Voice of Ukraine. Yeah, New York Times is the same. And this is the title. Ukraine has every right to liberate its territories. Correct, comma. Using any kind of weapon, Ukrainian official says. So Ukraine has every right to liberate its own territories, including Donetsk, Crimea, and Kherson. Using any kind of weapon, Ukrainian presidential advisor. So this guy tells Zelensky what to do, and his name is Mikhailo Podolyak. So this guy is, for me, Podolyak is not very bright. I didn't find too many bright people over there. It's in that clique of people in Ukraine. The only one that I think is really smart is one general that I can't remember his name, who thinks outside of the box and doesn't really follow orders. And then that's another woman, I can't remember her name, Volachuk. I will, when I remember her name, I will use her. She is something for like for the integration, new territory, something like this, an advisor, something. Those guys said, I would say, logical things. The rest are just throwing shit left and right. So let me see what this guy said. Let me remind you the basics. This is just the basics. There's no anything else. Crimea is not a part of Russia, same as Donetsk or Kherson. Okay. It says Zaporozhye nuclear power plant is not Russian facility, but a Ukrainian nuclear power plant. The Russian Federation is an invader and a murderer that started the war. Ukraine has all the rights to liberate its territories using any kind of weapon. All right, so we are at the top of my mountain slope right here. So they started with, we need some support, we need some weapons, yeah, give me this, give me that. If not, you are supporting Putin, blame you. And then now they tell us, give us, we can use any, we have the right to use any kind of weapon against the Russians. That means atomic, nuclear, whatever. The thing is out in the open, and it's been for some time, but they didn't say it to us yet. Now is the right time. Okay, now what do you think? I would say if you're attacked, yes, you could you could unleash whatever weapons you got to defend your countries. The problem is capability. Let's say tomorrow Ukraine somehow receives, I don't know, how many nuclear weapons should they get from the United States? 5, 10, 100. Let's start with 5. You have 5. What is Ukraine gonna do? It's gonna detonate them somewhere? Where? Where exactly are they gonna use them? Or let's say they use chemical weapons. Where are they going to release them? In the occupied territories? I have to remind you that over there, they are the Ukrainians they want to liberate. So you can't do it there, right? Now if you do it in Russia, no, the mother Russia, those are civilians. Is that a war crime? All right, so you don't care. All right, let's go with the nuclear weapons. Where are you going to detonate a nuclear weapon? On Donetsk, Luhansk, Crimea? Those are your Ukrainians, allegedly. They don't want to be with you, by the way. They want to be with Russia, but somehow you want to liberate them from the ones that they want to be with. Where's the logic in that one? They want the territory probably without the Russians. That means ethnic cleansing, isn't it? So how will you turn it? Okay, where are they going to drop that atomic bomb or nuclear weapon? Kherson? Where? In Donbass, Luhansk, Crimea. Okay, they're not going to do it there. We're going to do it in Russia? Where exactly? A town? What facility are you going to hit and how? Military facility? Okay, let's say they're going to hit somehow just a military facility. No civilians. Somehow everything is going to be clean and surgical and no collateral damage, because they never hurt any civilians in this war. Only the Russians are targeting and succeeding somehow to kill only civilians. So let's say they destroy some Russian militaries and blah blah blah. So then what? What would be the response of Russia? You're gonna be wiped out, guaranteed. Okay? So what are you gonna do? Are you gonna release, or are you gonna drop 5 bombs or 100? If you do the 100 bombs, the Russians will have time to release about 3,000. So what does that mean? That because of these weasels, the big fat cats that organized all this are going to die too. Do you think they're going to allow the Ukraine to do that? And Ukrainians will say, well, Ukrainians, those weasels in top, not the Ukrainians. Yeah, let's do it. So if I die, everyone else on this planet should die. They make this determination. Should you give them nuclear weapons? No. So if they're eager to use any kind of weapon to retaliate against a guy who will definitely retaliate 50 times more than them, and destroy the whole planet, are you going to give it? Do you agree with that? I wouldn't. Because I don't want to die because of Zelensky. Okay? I don't want to die for Oleg, or I don't know, Georgi, or I don't know. I don't want to die for those guys. Why would I? Why would I want my kids to die for them? But if they're going to use that, what they say they would, the Russians are going to flat them out. Now, how many weapons you give the Ukrainians and why? Because if they do that, if they release chemical weapons, they use it. And if they use atomic or nuclear weapons, the Russians are going to wipe them out. And what will the Americans do? Retaliate? Then we say bye-bye, you don't have even time to kiss your kids or your wife or whatever. Is that what you want? I don't want that. I'm 100% you don't want that either. So, and you got here a criminal actually, without the abilities to commit the crime. But he's 100% willing to do that. And I know another one that can hold hand with this guy. And that is Liz Truss. Yes, the British Prime Minister, who had no problem saying that in case that she needs to, she would have no problem of using nuclear weapons from Great Britain, and even if that means total destruction of this planet. So how do you call these people? Do you want that decision to work out like that? Do you want that to be like that? I don't. Do you think there's other ways to get out of that? I think many, before you get that point. But she didn't have any problems and no remorses. I made a video on that. Check it out. No remorses. And this guy, again, Podolyak, yeah, that's his name I was trying to remember. Yeah, Podolyak has no problems destroying you and I. Because once he uses the atomic, or whatever, any kind of weapon, the Russians are going to them up. And if they them up, is anybody else going to intervene? If they intervene, we all going to get. Okay? So, criminal right there without the means. We got a criminal mind with the means in another position. I just mentioned before. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.